We knew we had to go to a green environment in order to do the jungle work. We thought about Costa Rica. It doesn't really have the same kind of infrastructure that other places have, and it made a lot more sense to go to Hawaii.
Now, is there any way we can do it so we can see this side of him? Can he hug on this side so we can see it? Yeah, so if the camera's there...
We started our first day at the Honolulu Zoo, and that was going to be the petting zoo. And so we did a few things. We added a few things. We put some flags and stuff up. And then we had actors actually going around in gray suits being the little baby dinosaurs, and kids were riding them and all that stuff. And that's kind of how we started our day. It was a fairly easy day. It gave the crew a chance to kind of coalesce and, you know, kind of work together for a little bit.
I can still ride the Triceratops in 47.5 inches.
This place is for little kids.
All right, cut.
And cut. Cutting.
Not bad at all. Not bad at all.
And then we began to move out. We moved across the island up over to the Kualoa Ranch, and we did a whole bunch of stuff up there at the loading platform.
What they didn't know at the time is that the soft tissue is preserved because of the iron in the dinosaur's blood generates free radicals.
Good. Now a little bit louder, a little bit more hyped up.
What do you think's gonna happen from you just staring at them?
Look at him and laugh. Cut. That's embarrassing. That's embarrassing. We had the gyrosphere loading platform, which we built out in Hawaii, and then this gyrosphere, which we didn't shoot that on a soundstage. We had these kids out in this thing, traveling around through the jungle, and that stuff to me feels completely real. 3.
Where's the top? Hawaii did feel like a real Jurassic Park because it was so jungly. I actually felt like I was lost or I was in Jurassic Park.
You'll see like a blur, and then you'll see it's definitely a dinosaur, and then you see it's a dinosaur you've never seen before. And then
It was so beautiful and picturesque, and they had these giant gyrosphere balls on tracks, and they'd have a guy with a remote control driving it along, and I'd just be pretending to maneuver it on the joystick. It was pretty awesome.
Go! Go! Go!
Hey,
Go!
hey.
And 3, 2, 1, drop!
Oh.
Drop!
Oh.
Drop!
Oh.
It was pretty physical, and, you know, I didn't do any training or anything before this, and so we get here, and I'm running down fields trying to keep up with an ATV while there's a supposed Indominus Rex behind us. Some of the days, it was a good workout, kicked my ass. I mean, Ty's in better shape than I am, probably, so I was out there, like, huffing and puffing.
Ball pass, please. Ball pass.
I didn't say we'd make it easy.
We move over to gyro.
We gotta jump. Yeah.
Basically, they're being chased by our big bad dinosaur.
1, 2, come on.
And they come across a waterfall, and that's their only way to get away from the dinosaur that's going to eat them. It's a 40-foot waterfall. The boys, they did all of the beauty shots at the edge, and then when we jumped, we had 2 doubles jump off.
Action!
We saw them go down in the water, and then we go back down below and have the boys go underneath the water and pop up like they did the jump themselves.
They put me in a helicopter, and I could look down and see the Indominus Rex paddock, and I was like, man, I'm definitely in a Jurassic movie. It was quite an introduction.
The park needs a new attraction every few years to reinvigorate the public's interest.
The paddock, the idea was that way up country, away from prying eyes, they had built this large containment for this new asset that was not just a dinosaur, it was something else. So we had to build at least 2 walls of this paddock and a big observation room. We built a fairly big set.
It's built out in the jungles in Kauai. We're talking 90-foot walls, maybe 150 yards wide, 2 stories. All the greens were brought in. I mean, it was amazing.
Dinosaur. Great. Cut.
According to my watch, I just ran 65 miles an hour. Oh.
That's cheetah speed.
Oh, sorry, my watch actually isn't capable of telling that. Sorry. It's an estimate.
Chris Pratt's going to give this message here.
All right, listen. Cars, they fall from the sky sometimes.
Right, thanks, Chris. Okay, here we go, guys.
Construction.
We did a lot of practical stuff in the paddock, and so that was kind of the first time that we kind of started getting into a little bit of action on Jurassic World.
3, 2, 1, go!
We're about to shoot Eric Edelstein, who is an unfortunate paddock worker who's about to be eaten.
If you look like me, you're not going to make the end of the movie. It's a giant bummer.
3, 2, 1, pull!
Yeah, baby!
We're not allowed to take video. Don't tell anybody.
Thank you so much. You really make me look like I know what I'm doing, and I couldn't do this without you. Thank you. Have an incredible 3-day weekend.
Thanks for letting me do that. Crazy.
We'll get the moment when its head comes up, and she goes, and that'll be its like last breath of life moment. I think are you with us, Coach? Yeah, absolutely.
Colin said we need to have a working animatronic in this movie because that's how this series of movies was built.
What I wanted to do is use animatronics in a moment of intimacy. And we had a scene where they were going to come upon this fallen apatosaurus who was going to die. And so John Rosengrant and the guys from Legacy all came in with this extraordinary
The day that we had our one animatronic dinosaur on the set was a very special day. It was sort of an homage and an honor to Stan Winston's wonderful animatronics on the first Jurassic.
So it starts from the head, which Rich operates. Trevor takes the neck. And I do the breathing operation. Different bladders in the throat and mouth.
That's great. The exhale as she falls is beautiful.
Did you hear that, Jason? Your exhale when she was falling was great.
Only take 3.
And action.
There's a very emotional scene where this thing is dying into my arms. And so it was really helpful to be holding something real that looks so real and is so beautiful.
As puppeteers, it's making these things live and perform. It's bringing a character to life. Unfortunately, in this case, it's bringing one to its death. But in doing that, it's telling a story.
There's something almost spiritual in that scene as the life leaves this animal. You don't feel like it's a robot ceasing to be operated. You feel like the spirit and the soul of this creature is going up into the sky, and that's a testament to those guys. I mean, that was unbelievable.
Okay, she's starting to go. Not too much life left. She's going. 1, 2, 3. That's it. She's gone.
When Chris and I were getting to act with that animatronic dinosaur, there was such a performance, and getting to see that and interact with that, it was really emotional.
I just wanted to take a say, it was just such a huge honor and a privilege for me in my life as a filmmaker and as a person to have John Rosengrant and Legacy here doing this today. It meant a lot to me, and I know a lot of us. Footprints, right? So you just move right in, right when he's done talking, you're there, and you meet him.
Okay, let's try it again.
We shot in Oahu and Kauai, and then we moved to New Orleans. It was about 50% Hawaii, 50% Louisiana.
One of the interesting things about being here in New Orleans is we're able to take advantage of not only the exteriors, but all of these great sets that we built here at the Big Easy Studios, which is on the NASA campus.
We had 6 stages here that we had sets in. So we had the visitor center, and then we had connected to the visitor center is the genetics lab. So this was all part of the Jurassic World experience. We also had the old visitor center and the control room. which is where a lot of the movie takes place.
Let me be as clear as I can. No velociraptors are going to be set loose on this island.
You're out of your mind.
We were just shooting in control room, and so much is going on, and it's big. All the computers, all the gadgets to control things, and then there's so many sections of the screen where you can see what's happening where in every corner of the park.
Send a team of rangers out there, bring them in.
Security, we need a search and rescue in the valley.
The control room is a place where you can really knit everything together. And so by the time we got there, we knew the movie, and we knew what we'd shot, and if there were things that we had to tweak to make sure that everything made sense, we could.
She goes like, I'm coming to you, call a helicopter. I already did. Just get here now. It's on the way, just get here now. Yeah.
We didn't do any reshoots on this movie. And I think the control room is what allowed us to cover all of the bases that a lot of people usually have to cover in reshoots, which is, this didn't work out the way we thought it was going to work out. Let's go fix that. There was nothing that we couldn't fix in that control room.
Her tracking implant, she clawed it out.
How would it know to do that?
She remembered where they put it in.
We not only did a lot of interior sets, but we were able to build some of our sets outside. We have the Raptor Arena, which we built.
We had always been talking nebulously about the scene where Owen trains the raptors. I'm like, how do you train a raptor? Like, what does that look like? Where are you? What building are you in? And so I had to kind of describe what it looked like, and I said it had this crisscross catwalk that's so many feet up above the ground, and it's enclosed. And then I show up, and it's exactly how I described it.
Really, really a cool set. I mean, that thing is built of steel and cement. That is no joke. That thing could house dangerous animals for hundreds of years and would never break down. It's really, really sharp.
And then we took over the abandoned Six Flags theme park.
It was under 6 feet of water as a result of Hurricane Katrina. And so they let the park go, and it just sits there completely unused. But it happens to have a parking lot that's about the size of 10 football fields. So we went and built certainly the biggest set that I've ever built that just goes on and on and on.
What Colin was really going for, and I think that we hit this pretty well, was he wanted it not to be sort of Coney Island-like. He wanted it to feel more like a really hip, elegant destination.
We wanted to create this high level of luxury. We wanted it to feel like a Fiji resort with dinosaurs.
One of the very fun things for me was my good friend Jimmy Buffett's restaurant, Margaritaville, is sort of the marquee restaurant there on the main street.
We put in Winston's, which was shout to Stan Winston. There were a lot of little buried things like that.
You develop the set and you build it, and there's this long design curve and building curve, and then all of a sudden there's 800 extras walking around.
The most we ever had was 1,000, but we dressed several thousand because they, every day we had new people. They wanted new people all the time.
Please keep it quiet so that the crew can continue to work. We are rehearsing inside. Thank you very much.
And the first big day that we had 1,000 extras, I think we got to work at 3 a.m. and started dressing extras. We'd pre-fit a lot of them. We had pre-fit the uniforms, but we had a lot of people coming in that day. And I like to, when an extra comes in, you look at them and say, okay, what is your character? So it's kind of fun. It's like you give every extra their 15 minutes of attention to get them dressed and figure out their character.
You look good. Thank you.
You're done.
Nothing else?
No.
All right.
The performances of these extras were incredible. I mean, they were truly horrified, and there was nothing in the sky.
In Titanic, when they were trying to break open that door and everyone was just, that's what we're going for.
It's amazing how committed they became, and I think everybody shared this truth. They're like, oh my God, we're in a Jurassic Park movie, you guys. And we all just kind of became kids for a day. And I haven't made enough of these movies to not be really enthusiastic all the time. So when you get me on a set with 1,000 people who are all running from, you know, flying dinosaurs, there's an infectious energy to that.
And cut it!
That's pretty good.
That was awesome.
I don't think that anyone is ever going to stop being obsessed with dinosaurs at all. And so these movies, I think, in a way, will always be relevant. But I think this movie, in particular, at this moment, is very timely. It's almost like a cautionary tale. We see the consequences of ethics not being as developed as technology.
Which was always Michael Crichton's dream. He took a very moral interest in his own story about just because we can invent something, should we? And that was a big theme of the first film, and I think that really echoes throughout Jurassic World.
And it's a fine line to walk, and I think that's why me, as a fan of Jurassic Park, I feel comfortable knowing that it's in the hands of Colin, because he is also a fan.
To be able to be surrounded by people who were so thrilled, they knew it was a special time, they knew it was a special moment.
You know, we kind of feel like we snuck into the party.
This is so fun. You know how fun this is? This is so fun.
And action!
I feel like I was a child getting to make a movie with, you know, all the big lights and the cameras. And that spirit that we had on set, I think, is infused into the movie, and I think you feel it when you watch it.